I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And we got a car restarts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race, coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
We've traded the woods of Wisconsin for the crown jewel of Texas, Circuit of the Americas. 3 more races are left. The finish line for the season is officially in sight, but the championship picture is anything but clear. We've got 20 turns and a massive elevation changes standing between these drivers and a trophy. In a multi-class fight, the steep climb to turn 1 is a bottleneck for disaster. And with the chicanes and the chance of rain in the forecast, it will only add to the drama. The pressure is mounting. The points are precious. The engines are fired. Let's go racing. This is Goat Locker Racing, MK Fire Design Sports Car Series, right now on V-Speed, your #1 source of online race coverage. I am Ken Huber. Today we got our special guest. Corin Smith will be alongside me, and Bobby Bender on production like normal. We got Dougie Beards providing our cameras here tonight. Well, welcome back, Corin. We've missed each other over the past few races, and glad to have you back here in the booth.
Well, it took me a few days to find you from Saturday now to the new location of Tuesday, but it's good to be back with you, and you set it up perfectly. 20 turns, 3.5 miles, threat of rain, big wind already. It's going to be a great night here in Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're looking at that track map up there, like you said, 3.5 miles. Texas is one of my favorite tracks. It is one of the most technical tracks on the circuit. I compare this to Silverstone. Both those tracks, very technical, very difficult places to get around. This is one of those tracks, you'll hear me talk about it, where there's a series of turn complexes, and if you mess up that first one, the next set of corners, you're probably going to mess them all up, and it's just going to cost you tons of times here. That's what makes COTA so difficult for these drivers. And with the chance of rain, especially at the start of the race, just looking at the weather forecast here, Corey, there's a chance of rain here in the future here, maybe by the start of the race.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weather right now, and it's got a potential to pick up here in the next about 15 minutes. So as soon as that session starts and we take the green flag, we're going to see what happens over the next hour. So let's take a look at the race analysis. Like I said, we're racing for 60 whole minutes, pit road speed 50 miles an hour. Unlimited tires if you want to take them, one fast repair. Hopefully you don't need it. We're going to start with 60% fuel in open setups. And the weather, we talked about it. Good chance of rain tonight.
Yeah, and it is set to spotty, so it's variable, but we'll have to see. It does look like there's a little bit of a bigger cell headed this way. We'll have to see if we lose the track or not by the time we start this race. But we are wrapping up qualifying, and we are about to crown our Pole Award winners. Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award. Since forming in 2013, JAM has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with the primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker since the very beginning, and they are local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And how about that for our pole sitter here tonight? We have got, I'm just looking here, we have got Hector Collazo. No surprise there, multiple race winner, won the last couple of races here. He's on the pole once again tonight, but he's got a new challenger out there. Wesley Burke's going to be on his outside in that machine. Jason Christen will start in the third position with Jamie Lipke on his outside. And then Bill Mofield will be the last prototype on the field. Bill Mofield getting that podium last week. We'll see if he can get it here done tonight.
Over to the GT3s, Austin Cobb looking for his 5th win of the year with a 2:07.905. To the outside of Austin, we got Patty Armstrong, less than a 1/10 of a second behind. Inside row 2, we're going to have the 70 car of Joshua Jackson. Outside of him, we're going to have the 66 of John Hoochin. Timothy Williams and DJ Patterson are going to make up row 3. Blair Sisk and J.R. Schomburg make up row 4. Kyle Clark going to bring it off the grid in 9th.
Well, here we are. We're about to start this thing. We don't have to do a full parade lap, but it is raining out there. You can see the rain there on the cameras. These guys, you don't see a lot of swerving there. It's probably not what they wanted to see. All practice and qualifying was drying and then was dry. And then right here, as we're about to start this race here, the track has turned wet as we got a shower crossing the racetrack. It does look like it's going to pass, but these guys are going to have to start this race, and it looks like everybody's out there on wet tires.
Yep, everybody's made the choice for wets. Like you said, it started raining, and it's going to continue to rain for a little bit. The strategy call here, isolated showers. What happens when it stops raining? How long do you wait before coming in and getting slicks?
And that's the great thing about this type of racing is that transition. That transition is who's going to be the big dog, take that risk first. And it's going to be fun to watch, that's for sure. We don't have quite as many cars out as we're used to, 14 cars on the field, but these 14 cars are going to put on a good show for you here tonight as they only got a couple more turns to go. One of the things about the GTPs is with 60% fuel, a lot of tracks, and probably this one, had it stayed dry, they probably would have been able to do this or would have done this in 2 stops. But being that we're going to start in the rain, it's probably going to be a 1 stop for both classes tonight as far as the pit strategy goes. So they've taken that, the rain has taken that element out of this race here tonight because they just won't be able to go as fast, especially at the start.
Well, I think there's still an opportunity for a 2-stop race depending on how early the rain stops. You don't want to be out on those wet tires any longer than you have to as they come around turn 20 down the front straightaway.
Yeah, we are about to take the green flag here at Texas Circuit of the Americas. We got the prototypes out in front. Hector Collazo waiting for that green flag to come out. Going to have to be very careful with wheel spin out here on a wet track. None of these guys have run out here on the wet track yet tonight, so this is their first chance. And we are green flag racing. Hector Collazo is leading them to the line. Wesley Burke falling back right behind. He's going to tuck in. Or excuse me, Wesley Burke got the jump. Wesley Burke is in the lead of this thing. Hector Collazo now looking to the inside. Wesley Burke, and they almost get together. Hector Collazo with a little bit of a slide. What's going on with GT3s?
Well, GT3s, so far it's Austin Cobb, Patty Armstrong, John Hoochin leading the way, pretty clean. They caught up to the GTP field very quickly right there at turn 1, and it created a little bit of a log jam, but everybody seems to be through for now, except DJ Patterson, who's having trouble. He's stuck between turns 3 and 4, but looks like he's back underway as we're back up with the GTDs.
Yeah, I can tell you that I think what happened is these prototypes are very difficult. Even on dry pavement, it takes a while for the tires to get warmed up. And that's just, the GT3s are much better, especially in the wet conditions. So they were able to run the prototypes down going into turn 1 as the prototypes were just trying to gingerly get through that first turn and get those wet tires warmed up, and it takes them quite a few bit more laps to get that done. But Hector Collazo right now has stretched out a little bit of a gap, probably 10 car lengths over Wesley Burke. Sorry I messed up that call, but Wesley Burke made a daring jump to the lead there, trying to hold on to it, but didn't quite hang on to it. Jason Kristen just behind him.
Yeah, Collazo did not flinch in turn 1. He just kind of held his line, took it to the inside curb, and drove away as he's got a 1.5 second lead already as they make their way down towards turns 15 and 16.
Yeah, a change for position, though. Bill Mofield got around Jamie Lipke. I think Jamie got herself in a little bit of trouble there, maybe slid off the track a little bit. No damage, but Bill Mofield was able to get by her. You can see that flag livery there, that American flag livery. Now, Bill Mofield last week got a podium. Now he's going to look at the back of Jason Kristen. So Bill Mofield towards the end of the season here, has really been putting on some good performances.
Yeah, you can see Molfeld matching Kristen step for step as they're working their way through turn 19 for the first time. Now down through turn 20, coming back on the front straightaway to complete their first lap.
And I don't know if we can go back and look at it, but there's also been a change for the lead in the GT3 class. Austin Cobb got passed by Patty Armstrong. So Patty Armstrong now currently leading this thing as they cross the start-finish line. Patty in that that Mercedes up there, and you can see Austin Cobb in that familiar Corvette, that black and blue Corvette. Austin Cobb, our points leader, has been crushing it this season, but he doesn't have that big of a gap over Joshua Jackson. But Joshua Jackson so far is having some struggles right now. He's currently running back there in that 6th position.
Yeah, he's lost 3 spots on the first lap. We'll have to take a look if is he just struggling in the rain, or is he having a problem? We'll have to keep an eye on him as we keep going through the field here.
Great battle up front here with these 2 drivers here. You can look at Patty Armstrong trying to get through here. Patty had a really solid finish. I think Patty's first race with us was last week, and this week he's putting on another strong performance here. He's trying to hold off Austin Cobb, who's been, I don't want to say dominant. We've had a group of guys here in the GT3 series. I know you haven't been around that much, Corin, to watch these guys go at it, but the GT3 series has quite a few drivers that can compete with each other. But these 2 drivers right now here at Circuit of Americas are just stepping away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, at Goat Locker Racing, we have all shapes and sizes of drivers at all skill levels, aliens down to beginners. And here you're seeing some of the best that Goat Locker Racing has to offer, as you see Cobb taking a little bit to the inside, trying to find some traction there. Can't seem to find it. Patty, he's going to the inside of Patty, tries to move. Not going to have it there as they're working their way right now through turns 15 and 16. Does Cobb have a move here? Can he carry enough speed into a turn to try to get around him? Not yet so far.
Yeah, and that's a very difficult complex of turns right there to try to get through and try to make passes. So I think he's wisely just waiting for a mistake, and that's kind of what you got to do out here in the rain. Austin Cobb, no stranger to this style of road course racing. He is a little bit of a stranger to Patty Armstrong, being that this is Patty Armstrong's 2nd race. But I just seen something going on just ahead of them, and there it is right there. So our producer brought us right to what looks like Jason Kristen got a little sideways. Jason Kristen going back again. So Jamie Lipke gets back around as Jason Kristen having a little bit of struggles in that prototype out here in the wet.
Yeah, several cars having issues. I saw the 236 of DJ Patterson go off course, and then I saw the Ferrari of Claire Sisk meatball it. Let's see if we got a replay of that. Don't even know what happened. Maybe just a little pedal arrangement issue there, and yeah, that rear engine car is absolutely decimated.
Yeah, I didn't see any brake hold there at all. That Ferrari is toast, and yeah, Ferrari, one of the more difficult cars for me at least to drive in the rain, and so Sisk and then Jamie Lipke, looks like Jamie Lipke has towed her car to pit lane. Not sure exactly what happened there. So Jamie Lipke, who is 2nd in points, had a chance to take the points lead here tonight. But unfortunately, why don't we take a look at our points and see how everybody's doing here tonight, since I brought that up. So this is what's going on in the field here tonight. Looking at the prototype field there over on your left. Reagan Carty is currently in the lead of this thing, isn't here tonight. So he is, for a race win here in the prototype field and the GT3 field, it's worth 350 points. You can see there, Jamie Lipke only 317 points behind, but Jamie having some struggles out here tonight. So I don't think she's going to be inheriting the lead after tonight. But you can see there it is really close between her and Bill Mofield, with Mofield 505 back, and then Jason Kristen at 758. So these drivers are all in contention, and there's a lot of points next week as we head into Indy next week for a 2-hour race. The points are worth double, and so that's what these drivers will be looking for. They'll definitely want to make that race next week.
Yeah, there's 3 points payouts left in the season here as we're starting to wind down. But if I'm Joshua Jackson or Jamie Lipke, I think the best ability is availability. The leader of the GTP not in the session tonight, so Jamie really needs to think about trying to get back out on that track and get some more points. But she's going to shave a little bit of that deficit off. For Joshua Jackson, though, he needs Austin Cobb to make a mistake. He needs Austin Cobb to bin it into the barriers a few times, end his race, put him back in the pack, and try to make up some of that ground over the next few races, because Austin Cobb has not made many mistakes this season.
No, but where Austin Cobb, the mistakes he has made is by not showing up to every race. So he has missed a few races, so he doesn't have any throwaway races. They do get 2 races here in this series that what they call drop weeks, where they can have a bad races. Oh, we got our leader spinning. Oh, and Cobb misses Patty Armstrong. Patty Armstrong loses the rear end of that Mercedes, goes around, and Austin Cobb able to inherit the lead now.
Yeah, Patty was trying to get through turn 2 and just had the world's slowest crash here. As you see, he got up on some of that painted surface, and once you do that, there's no traction on that paint, on those painted curves. It was over. Austin Cobb drives right by, says thank you, and have a nice day.
Yeah, and that's a cold place to be, is out there in the grass in the rain. And speaking of being cold, everyone should check out the GLR web store. The web store is a very cool place here at Goat Locker Racing. It also helps our veteran community. So the things you buy are also part of that community. Support the sport and the mission with Goat Locker Racing at glrwebstore.com. You'll find quality racing apparel, hats, and gear. And every purchase supports veterans, active military, and first responders, like everybody here that's putting on this race for you tonight. Your order helps fuel the mission and fight back against mental health challenges facing our community. Great gear,
big trouble
real
again.
purpose.
It's Claire Sisk. Claire Sisk has lost it in turn 12 and almost took out the leader, Austin Cobb.
Well, you mentioned it there, Corey, that Austin Cobb could have issues, and that's just up on the paint, a little too much rear brake bias, and again, with one quick repair.
Is that the same place you lost it last time?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that's gonna end her night. So that no quick repair. There's not gonna be able to get that rear spoiler fixed. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough break for her.
I do apologize. I know you were in the middle of that read there in that segment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about my great gear, like my hat, and I always mention my dog tags. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but you get cool stuff like that, hats, hoodies, all kinds of gear. Support our veterans. Check out the GLR web store. That's glrwebstore.com.
Well, you're not going to find a better hoodie for a cheaper price than at the GLR web store, and I can guarantee you that myself. So make sure you head over there and support the cause.
You can go all gangsta with your hoodie from Goat Locker Racing too. So nice black hoodie with your Goat Locker thing. You know what's impressive right now? We just went back to the leader, Hector Collazo. Wesley Burke back there. Wesley Burke hasn't made many races out here this season. Wesley is not competing for the championship. Wesley, though, is a very strong competitive driver, both on road and in the oval. And he has been able to go, or at least hang, with Hector Collazo. Nobody's been able to do it, with the exception of maybe Reagan Carty earlier this season. But Wesley Burke hanging on to the back to Hector Collazo. What an impressive run for Wesley Burke.
Yeah, it doesn't take Burke long to get in just about any car and kind of start to figure it out. He may not be the best in anything, but he can jump in anything and be a factor at all points of the races. You see him keeping it within 2 seconds for now. We'll have to see what he's got for a pit strategy. You know, pit strategy here a little bit different than some of your circle track races, but if he can get up next to Collazo and force Collazo to make a mistake, then it's going to be his race to win.
Yeah, and you know, I haven't seen Hector make too many mistakes, although he's going to have some traffic. We don't have that many cars out here tonight, but I'm just going to take a quick peek at the weather because I am a little curious. Looks like we're about 70% through this rain shower, and then expect it to clear up and this track to start to dry out. So, you know, I think being that we are just about 12 minutes into this thing, probably when they get to the halfway point, they might be able to take dries, maybe, when they reach their pit cycle. And that's going to raise another question. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast, you know, the pit strategy. Being that it's rain, basically on fuel, at least for the prototypes and the GT3s, it would be a one-stop race, but the tires are going to decide everything. And if the track hasn't dried out by the time we get to that point, and these guys have to stay on the wets, yeah, you're right, Corey, that this might very well indeed be a two-stop race for everybody.
As we continue to watch the battle for the lead, we've got Hector Colazzo starting to come up on Jamie Libke, who's already 1 lap down, but possibly about to go 2 laps down. Not the night she was trying to have.
Yeah, I thought she might have towed it and went home, but she was able to get that quick repair out there and trying to stay on the lead lap. I don't think she's going to put up too much of a fight. She's not really battling anybody out there, but she is second in points and would like to probably increase that gap over Reagan Carty, try to catch up and get into the points lead. But always out there running a solid race. Just the rain got to her and it's got that quick repair. Now she just needs to, I imagine she's on pins and needles, just tries to get around this place while it's wet.
Well, we're 13 minutes into the race. There's only 1 retirement so far. That was Claire Sisk, who unfortunately has had quite the battle with the rain tonight.
Close call there for Wesley Burke. Wesley Burke almost gets into Jamie Lipke. Lipke trying to let everyone by. It's that very difficult section of the track. It's very difficult to do, and Wesley didn't really have.
Burke! Wesley Burke is off. He had contact with the GT3 of DJ Patterson, behind the leader.
Yeah, that's where traffic plays a role into this. We'll watch this, go back to the V-Speed instant replay and see exactly what happened. This is the final couple of turns here, this last complex. Oh, well, she actually, or he didn't actually get into him. It's just had to hit the brakes really hard there and spun that prototype around. So I think Wesley's fine, no damage, but definitely lost a lot of time over the leader.
That's going to give Hector Colazzo a 6-second lead now as he kind of fishtails it going through. Where is he at? He's currently through turns 5 and 6, but right now still got a 6-second lead. Not super concerned, just trying to keep the wheels on it.
Yeah, you can see the rain has stopped on that section of the track that we were just on. As we get down to the lower section of the track, headed back towards the front stretch, looking at Austin Cobb is currently leading the GT3 field, but the rain is starting to let up. So I expect the track to start drying out here. We're at a very hot Texas right now, 88 degrees. So the track should dry out a little bit quicker, but there's some huge puddles out there as well. And I think these drivers are really struggling with that at the moment.
Austin Cobb currently has a 9-second lead over Patty Armstrong, and he's got the fastest lap of the race as well. So firmly in control right now. See if the change in weather has anything in store for him.
Yeah, like you said,
working his way through turn 1.
Like you said, he doesn't need to make any mistakes, and that's probably what Joshua Jackson's hoping for. Speaking of Joshua Jackson, just going back to his position, currently running in the 4th spot. So back up, we see that Porsche running. We haven't talked about Joshua, but Joshua in the hunt for this championship really needs a mistake out of Austin Cobb. And of course, next week, he's really got a good chance with double the points next week to kind of shrink that gap out front. But that's his main competitor up there is Austin Cobb, and would at least like to make those positions up and get up to at least a podium finish and make up many points as he can. But he's got some strong competitors there ahead of him, Patty Armstrong and John Houchin up there ahead of him. John Houchin in that 66 machine doing a great job out there, currently running in 7th.
Well, I know that Joshua Jackson would like to go into our final race of the year at Watkins Glen knowing that all he has to do is finish ahead of Austin Cobb. But like you said, that's going to take a major series of mistakes out of Cobb, and we just haven't seen it quite yet.
Nope, anything could happen. You know, I mentioned at the top that this is one of the most difficult racetracks, and as much as I love this place, it's hard in any format, in any car. You know, you could go to, I'll use Sonoma as an example, because a lot of people are very familiar with that, especially our oval racers. You take a stock car there, it's very difficult to drive. Well, here at COTA, it doesn't matter what car you're in. This is such a difficult track to get around. It's like Sonoma in a stock car, no matter what car you're in. And then you add rain into it. It's just, it's got to be overwhelming. And I have to admit, I have not been out in the rain here at COTA. So I don't know what these guys are exactly experienced, but I can't imagine it's easy.
As we're taking a look at Bill Mulfeld, who had a little spin out a couple turns ago, but he's back and heading on down the line. Currently running fourth, up from the last place position where he started. So outlasted Jamie Lipke by a couple laps, and we'll see if he can make his way up in the field here as we continue on down the line.
Oh, we got a spinner. Trying to see who that is. It looks like
The 997 of Kyle Clark.
Yeah, in that Porsche, there's some front end damage on that. We're going to go back to the V-Speed instant replay and see exactly what happened. Out on the paint, that's what happens. So you're out on the paint and you brake in the rain. It's fine in the dry, but you can't do it in the rain, and that's exactly what bit him right there. Is you got those left side tires, or the left side tires are off in the paint. You hit the brakes, the left side tires lock up and just send you around.
Well, when he got passed by the GTP car, I think he got kind of a whiteout scenario on his windshield, couldn't see, caught the painted surface, and he was toast after that. That turn has claimed several victims tonight already. We'll have to see if it'll claim anybody else tonight.
Yeah, let's hope not. The rain is almost gone. It's almost out of here, and I see nothing but clear sky behind it. So should see the sun pop out here momentarily. We're watching our leader, Austin Cobb. I was just taking a quick peek at our leader up in the prototype field in the number 2 machine, Hector Collazo, still leading this thing. Wesley Burke actually was running him down there the last couple of laps, but it has since gave that time back up. I think Wesley got that car a little sideways. I was watching there, had a little bit of a slip up, but Hector Collazo right there ending the S's section as Wesley Burke is now getting through it. So Wesley Burke is still in contention of this thing and can make up the time. And if I know anything about Wesley, he does have some pace in that machine.
I think it's going to come down to who can really make things stick on pit road. You have to get in, you have to get out, and no mistakes. You can make up a lot of time. We see other people do it in these GLR series. People don't really practice getting on and off pit road, and I bet they don't practice a whole lot for the rain either. So getting on and off pit road in the rain is going to be a challenge. We'll see who's up for it tonight.
Good point. And this pit lane, I wouldn't call it incredibly difficult, but you're going super fast, and you have to dive it onto pit lane, and then there's a super sharp left-hander, and it's to get a good time, you got to be super good at where your brake point is. It's almost like a corner in itself, and if you overdrive it, you end up on the outside wall going into pit lane. And in the rain, that's going to be very easy for these guys to do. And then, of course, hitting your box. These guys are out here racing, and they're used to stopping on dry pavement. And you hit your brake points when you see your flagman out there, and you're trying to hit your normal brake points, and you just slide right through your pit box. So, but anyway, something has happened with Hector Collazo because Wesley Burke has run him down, and Wesley Burke is now only 2.5 seconds back. So Wesley Burke has made up that lost time almost. So I think Hector had a little bit of a slide out there on the track. We didn't catch it there, but has given up that time back to Wesley Burke.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can go back and find it. It looks like he just was a little slow getting through turn 1 and 2. Didn't see him really lose complete control, just wasn't making good pace. Oh, I'm wrong. He did lose it into turn, looks like 13. So, yep, it's tough. It's tough out there. It's a good day to be in the broadcast booth for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather be here than out there in the rain. That's for sure. Racing out in the difficult, iRacing has this feature called spotty rain, and according to iRacing, when it is spotty, you might get rain, you might not. And unfortunately for these guys, they got 100%. The track got super wet. You can see all the puddles there. I've been in races where it's been spotty rain and we didn't have any rain. We didn't even have a shower, just a little shower. But these guys definitely had to start out in the wet conditions. But it looks like it's mostly stopped raining. So now it's a matter of the track drying out. Now, we're going to hit that halfway point with in about 8 more minutes or so. But I think, with the fuel situation, I can tell you that the GT3s can probably go about 45 minutes in the current conditions. So they might be able to wait out the track drying, but those prototypes, it's going to be close. Those prototypes might only be able to go 35 minutes. And if the track isn't dried out by then, they're going to have some decisions to make.
Well, we do have a lower car count tonight. We only have 11 cars left on the track. So the track's going to dry a little slower. The rain has moved on. So the south part of the track is going to dry first. That's basically turns 1 to 10, and then 11 to 20 are going to dry a little bit later because it was raining there for a few extra minutes. But again, I just don't know if there's enough cars. You might have to take wet tires here on your pit stop and not really have a choice, as we're watching the leader of the GTP try to make his way around Timothy Wilms. He does that successfully. Will Wesley Burke have the same luck? They're working their way down to turn 20. Burke's going to have to get by him real fast, or he's going to lose a lot of time. Wilms rides the paint, and he looks like he'll get away easily. But that's opened up the gap now to 1.6 seconds as they cross the start-finish line here 23 minutes into this race.
Yeah, that traffic benefited Wesley Burke over Hector. Basically, Wesley Burke was be able to reel in a full second as Hector had to wait on to pass that sports car ahead of him, and of Timothy Williams. Boy, I'm having some problems speaking here tonight, but able to get it done. But it cost him almost a full second. Now Wesley Burke is almost back there on that rear wing, as now our leader is working on Joshua Jackson out there, one of our top runners in the sports car field right there. Joshua Jackson in that green Porsche. Joshua's going to let those two drivers by and let them duke it out. Another very difficult section of the track, a big kink there. That time Wesley Burke got the worst end of that, but Wesley Burke is right behind our leader.
Well, Colazzo's been very fast, pushing the limits through the S's, turns 3 through 9. But with Joshua Jackson there, he lost a little bit of time. We'll have to see if Burke can make the most of it as they race down towards turn 12, the one that's killed a lot of cars tonight.
Yeah, it's been carnage central out there. I just watched Wesley just struggle a little bit on the brakes there, getting into that turn, as you were mentioning that. So almost commentator's curse there. One of the most difficult sections of the track they're going through right now, and I'd hate to be out there in the rain, but they're getting it done, and they're showing why they're the leaders of this series right now. Wesley Burke trying to find some speed over Hector. I got to say, Wesley Burke does look like he might have something for Hector by the end of this thing, especially as this track dries out. I'm curious to see how much speed Wesley has really got in this thing.
Well, let's circle back to what we said earlier with getting on and off pit road. He's half a second behind right now. You can easily make that up or lose even more on pit road, especially while it's still wet. So we're going to have to watch that battle. This race may be won or lost on pit road tonight.
Well, let's ride on board. Well, I was going to say, let's ride on board with Wesley for this lap right here as he's running behind Hector as they navigate this traffic. This is turn 1. You go uphill, very strong braking zone. And then you'll come down towards the S's. As we lost Hector there for a moment, his connection has disappeared, but we're headed down into the S's. And this is a very technical, you screw up this first turn and it's going to set you up to screw up the rest of them. And you got to be careful. It isn't like Silverstone where Mags and Beckett's, these got huge curves if you miss your corner. So you got to be very careful. You dance through here and then you get resettled, and then you got a strong left-hander which takes you into a bottom section, and then you go back uphill. It really upsets the car here. You get very loose, very light in the rear end, and then a quick steering input to the left. Very easy to lose the car here. And then a quick kink turn, very difficult to do here in the prototypes. Then you're coming into a very heavy braking zone, headed towards the back straightaway. And this is where, if you're really close, you can sometimes attempt to pass. And then you got this huge long back straightaway. And this is what we're going to talk about with the spray, where we had drivers get on the paint, maybe they couldn't see. But into this next braking zone is probably the best place to pass here at Texas. But you got to be close enough. And right now, Wesley isn't there. But it's one of the better passing zones on the track. You can see Wesley, a little later on the brakes, but Wesley was to the inside, not to attempt to pass, but to get out of that spray so he can see where his braking zone is. And then they go through what I consider the most difficult part of this track. It's a very slow left and right-hander section of the track. You get through here, even in the dry, it's very difficult. The car wants to come around each and every corner. And then you straighten it out, and then you got a big sweeping right-hander. And this corner isn't too difficult in itself, although the rear end will tend to get loose on you as you crest right about here. But the trick is just to feather the throttle at the right spots and get the most momentum. And then you get the last 2 corners here. Another quick type of kink, less than 45 degrees. And then your last corner, another heavy braking zone coming to the front stretch. And that's a lap here at COTA.
I don't know if you can see it through the spray, but Hector Colazzo absolutely sending it through the S's. Almost lost it on turn 5. Great save. Allowed Burke to catch up a little bit, but he worked it back out across the rest of the lap. As you see the leaders working their way up towards Patty Armstrong next. Patty working second place in GT3, currently 13 seconds behind Austin Cobb, who still continues to lead, still has the fastest lap. Looking at a quick recap of the field in GT3, we've got Austin Cobb leading in that number 42 machine. That Chevy Corvette looking real nice and smooth so far. Back 13 seconds for him is going to be the Mercedes of Patty Armstrong. Armstrong has shown very good skill at times tonight, but he's going to need some help. As you see, oh, there's contact with Patty Armstrong, and Patty Armstrong's in the wall. He made contact with the GTP leader as we're to the V-Speed Instant Replay. Little impatience, perhaps, on the part of Colazzo. He comes around.
Wesley Burke. Yeah, Burke spins too. Anyway, back to that battle. So that was interesting. It looks like the replay's back up there, Corey.
All right. Well, we're back with Pat. Oh, is this the right one? There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see he just came around and didn't quite leave enough room for Hector Colazzo, and that's all she wrote. No meatball flag yet. He might have some damage to fix when he makes his pit stop here in a little bit. I don't see too much damage. I don't know. Are there soft bounces off of galvanized steel guardrails? I don't know, but looks like he did okay.
I would have to say probably no.
Back to the field now to the 66 of John Hoochin, who's currently in 3rd place. He's 10 seconds behind Patty. Made up a little ground on that. Then you have to go another 10 seconds back to the 70 of Joshua Jackson, driving his Porsche. And then you have an 86 in 5th place. You have Timothy Wilms having a pretty decent night. Started 5th, currently running 5th. And then we have our lap down cars. We have one car lap down. That's the McLaren of DJ Patterson, as you see him getting lapped by a GTP car. And then we have our 3 DNFs so far, who are Kyle Clark, JR Schamer, and Claire Sisk. So back to our leader, Hector Colazzo, overall leader and leader of the GTP class. Stretched it out to 7 seconds on Wesley Burke, who spun out, as we saw in the replay, trying to claw his way back and have a shot here at the end.
Yeah, and I think that incident, for a smaller car count tonight, we've certainly seen a lot of action out here. And I think that, Hector out there leading this thing is definitely seeing Wesley Burke closing in on him. And Wesley trying to catch him, and then Hector trying to get away. Then you get that GT3 in the middle of that battle, and I think that's why we've seen all that play out as we're watching Hector, our 2 leaders, about to converge right now of both classes. Hector Colazzo coming down, and you can see Austin Cobb just ahead of him, the leader of the GT3 series. And we're at the halfway point of this race. Why don't we talk about another one of our sponsors, and that would be Zat. Zat Graphics' goal is to be your preferred source for signs, embroidery, silk screening, promotional products, trade show displays, and other graphics. Zat Graphics takes the headaches out of promoting your business or organization's image by providing one-stop shopping for all your graphic services. We believe in the best way to achieve this goal is to be in meaningful relationships with our customers. And I got to thank Zat Graphics. They came on board with us last season on the summer season of the Road Course Series, where they're a proud sponsor here at Goat Locker Racing. And guys, if you need a design, you need some graphics work done, make sure you check out Zat Graphics first, because they can put your design on almost anything.
Well said, Ken, as we're back with Hector Colazzo, who is working his way currently down towards turn 1 with Austin Cobb behind him. Those are the 2 class leaders. as we're now more than halfway through this race. I haven't seen any pit stops yet, except Joshua Jackson just pitted, but he's still out there. He went back out on wets. Oh, I'm sorry. Joshua Jackson has not pitted yet. That is a mistake on my scoring monitor, but
I don't think so. I'm looking at it right now, and it shows. Yeah, you're right. I think it is a mistake because it shows 7.2 seconds. You possibly can't go on and off pit lane in 7 seconds.
he pit started. I think that's what might have happened here.
Yeah.
Or he entered on the first lap. But either way, he's back out there.
Yeah, and I think, the strategy here would be to stay out as long as humanly possible, as long as the track's wet and you can, because if you do get a chance to put on those racing slicks, it's what you're going to want to do. But I don't know. The track is pretty wet. I don't know if we're going to get a chance for it to fully dry out with only 27 minutes left in this thing. So, definitely the GT3s, as I mentioned earlier, can stay out longer than the prototypes. The prototypes are probably now tapping on that fuel gauge, seeing how much more they can get out of those cars, but they're probably getting close to their window. The sports cars can probably stay out there another 10 minutes at least, if not more.
Well, I'm looking at our top two, Colazzo and Berg, the two GTPs with the best chance to win this race. Wesley Burke hasn't had a chance to really lead the race yet. Is he thinking about maybe trying something different and seeing if he can get ahead out there? May not be the best call, though, as you see cars taking the main preferred line. Still a good amount of spray as we're watching Jason Kristen get ahead of Timothy Wilms as they're working their way down to turn 11.
Yeah, Jason Kristen doing an awesome job out there tonight. It's funny, Jason, I don't think we've had him in the booth. He hasn't had a podium finish yet this season, but he's certainly working out one so far here tonight, doing it in the rain, no less. So Jason Kristen having an outstanding night out here. He's got, almost 45 seconds over Bill Mulfield, who's currently running fourth, but Jason Kristen doing a spectacular job out there, holding on to that machine and doing a really good job out here in the wet. Maybe that's his true calling.
Well, it's certainly an equalizer. If you may not have the best setup, you may not have the best skill set, but if you can just take care of that car and keep all four tires on the track, you'll have a chance. And Jason Kristen has that now. He's only a minute behind the leader, so a little bit of misfortune for a couple other people, and he could be looking at a race win, but probably pretty happy and satisfied running third right now.
Well, being that we haven't talked about him that much, he's having a really quiet night. He's probably not making the mistakes that the other drivers we've seen, our leaders, almost everybody. I don't remember Jason Kristen having an incident on track here. We've seen everybody else, including Bill Mulfield, have problems out here on the track. So Jason running a really clean race. So anything can happen out there with our leaders. I thought I seen Wesley Burke sideways, but I think that was just out of the corner of my eye. He's safe. Still about 11 and a half seconds behind our leader of Hector, but yeah, Wesley Burke definitely is probably thinking about strategy, how he wants to play this out to try to do something to get back to the leader.
As you see Colazzo coming up on Bill Mulfeld.
Yeah,
looks
looking
like a little ways to go. I'm sorry. We might have been looking at a different car than I thought, but yep, back on our leader working his way down the back straightaway. Oh, excuse me. He's working his way down to turn 19. Oh, these cars are flying now that it's starting to drive a little bit. And now he's coming down to turn 20 to make that big old left turn. 24 minutes to go. He's going to complete lap 16. Oh, it's felt like a crawl so far, but the action
Wesley Burke.
High speed, has it not?
Wesley Burke on that strategy. Does a great job on the entrance to pit lane. We'll see if he can hit it. I'm losing a little bit of connection there, but yeah, Wesley Burke headed to his pit stop, get his pit cycle done, get some tires on that thing. I think they're going to stick with wets. Track hasn't dried out enough, and this might be a smart move because Hector's going to be out there on those old wets, and if the track doesn't dry out, it could allow Wesley to get some of that time back.
Well, we'll have to see if Colazzo... Oh, Burke's going to dries. He's going to try it. I don't know if this will either be genius or foolery, but we're going to see him take a shot. We'll have to see if Colazzo's going to answer. He's obviously going to see, oh, having a little trouble getting off the pit wall there.
So I'm just going to say it. I think this was a huge mistake. I mean, like one of the biggest mistakes you can make. I just looked at where the officials are declaring the track. The officials are declaring this track is still fully wet. And I've never seen anybody take slicks on well, actually, I take that back. I've seen some guys try to do it, but it is impossible. You can do it on maybe lightly wet or mostly wet, but fully wet, yeah, he's going to have a tall order here. He's really going to be struggling.
He is losing tons of time to Colazzo. You can see him. He can't even keep it on the track. And he's going to maybe kiss the barrier there. He might be in right after that. He might be back down this time.
He's in big trouble. Yeah, that tube machine has got some problems he's going to be struggling with. He's going to need the track a lot drier to deal with those racing slicks.
And look behind him. It's Jason Kristen looking for second place.
Yeah, I don't think Jason's going to have any problem getting by Wesley at this point. So Jason Kristen up another spot. So Jason Kristen, move him up to second place. So there you go, Corey. We were talking to you, or you were talking about that. You never know. He might be able to pull off a win here if the leader has any problems.
Well, he's going to have a tall order there. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds back up to Hector Colazzo. And I just don't think, barring some damage that requires a meatball or toe, I just don't think Kristen's going to have it. But he's got to be happy with running second right now. He started third.
Hats off to Wesley for going there, though, man. I got to admit, and I'm not laughing at you, Wesley, man. You got to do what you can do. I know you're not out there competing for a championship, but yeah, it might have been a little too much water out there for those tires, and you can see just can't get that car around the track at all, and almost goes around again. We'll see this. We'll see if he can get it to pit lane and maybe get some wet tires back on that car, but. I don't know. I think that was a very painful mistake out there for Wesley.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he comes down this time. He's still trying to work himself through 17 and 18. Anytime he hits about 40 miles an hour, he just loses the rear end. Well, he made the attempt, but it certainly did not pan out, did it?
No, he's definitely getting lots of TV time because it's more fascinating than anything. But there he goes, headed to pit road. Now, hopefully, this first corner here, this is very tricky, especially on those racing slicks. It looks like he isn't going to hit anything. So he'll go in, get those wets back on the tire, get back out there and try to make up those positions. But he is giving up the GOAT right now, and he's currently running in the third spot, and likely to lose it to Bill Mofield, the fourth position, if Bill Mofield can get up there.
Well, the closest action on track we just saw was Joshua Jackson making the pass for fourth because Timothy Wilms is on pit lane to get his service. And I think that everybody watched Wesley Burke on dries. I don't think anybody else is going to be brave enough to try that tonight.
Unless they want lots of TV time, because we're all game for it. So we'll probably have the cameras on you if you decide to go for those slicks. But
and Wilms is going to dries.
Oh God!
Wow, somebody else is going to try it. Wilms is still on pit lane, but we're going to have to watch him as he's leaving his stall now. Wilms back in fifth. Let's see how the exit goes on cold, slick tires as he works his way up the hill to turn one.
Now, the sports cars, the GT3 cars, are a little easier to drive in the wet, but there he goes, right off turn one. And that's what he's going to be dealing with right now. A little bit easier to handle than the prototypes, but still, you're going to give up tons of time. And iRacing has done a really great job with the weather. They give you indicators of when you can put on those dry tires. And one of those indicators is how much spray is coming off the car. And, you know, I'll give you one of the secrets is you usually see 3 lines of spray coming off the back of the cars when the track is fully wet. And then as it starts to dry off, it'll go to 2 lines of spray. And then when it gets to 1 line of spray and it's like flickering in and out, that's usually a good indication that you can go back to your dry tires if you're brave enough. The earliest a driver to do that might be taking the biggest risk, but sometimes it's the biggest payoff. But that's some of the indicators that iRacing uses. They do some other things to help you out, but as we watch watch that driver go around trying to handle those wet tires, unable to do so. Spun that thing around once again.
Well, we're going to stick with this for a second as we watch him rejoin. During the break, while we were watching this, Hector Colazzo, your overall leader, came in for service, came back out on wets. And now we got Jason Kristen. He's going to take a stab at dry tires. He's in second place right now. He probably could have stuck with the conservative move, but he's not going to do it. So the 0-2 of Jason Kristen leaving pit road right now.
So
this
is all falling into Wesley Burke's favor, because now everybody's going to make the same mistake Wesley Burke made. And we'll see how Jason Kristen does. He actually, considering Jason Kristen was doing really good out here in the rain. That's why we were covering him. But he's going to go off track right now, trying to hold those slicks on the track. But it's still way too wet out there for this. So I guess Jason's looking for that TV time once again. Is he going to blow it through the S's here? Going to have to let a GT3 go by. And you know, you're out there in a prototype and you're letting GT3s go by. You know there's a problem.
Well, the gap from Kristen to Burke looks like it is 16 seconds. So now that he is back on wet tires, I think Burke might be able to run him down. That's going to be the best action that we're going to have at the moment, watching Kristen just limp around this track on dry tires.
Yeah, there's no question that Wesley Burke is going to catch Jason Kristen. In fact, Jason Kristen is probably going to be in the same boat Wesley was and have to bring that thing back on pit road and get the right tires put on that car and get back out there. And you've seen it from Hector. Hector is a very talented driver. I think, in Wesley Burke's defense, he's a very talented driver, but I don't think he has that much experience out in the wet. And somebody like Hector, when you're competing against Hector, as I say that, Hector went out there and he's put on the slicks. So I don't know. He came on pit lane just a few laps ago, or one lap ago, I think, and took wets, and then now he's back out and he took slicks as we watch.
Timothy Wilms. Timothy Wilms has had enough of his dry tires. He is going back and he is grabbing wets. So now the entire remainder of the GT3 class is back on wets, but we've got two GTPs, Jason Kristen and Hector Colazzo, on dries, and there he goes.
I'm gonna say this. So as I was speaking about Hector being one of the more experienced road racers out there, and that's why he stayed on the wets, I think he's just making it competitive. He sees all his competitors are out there on the dry tires. He decided to do it, make it competitive, see what he can get done out there. But he is now out there struggling as we watch him go around. But what a interesting way to come out. I think he made the right choice on the wets the first time, but now he's going to try it on the dry since he had such a commanding lead.
Reminds me of beer league softball, where you have to drink a beer before you go to second base. Everybody apparently has challenged themselves to run at least one lap on dry tires, and it's been about as entertaining as it gets out here tonight.
Man, I would have never thought that, Now we're watching Hector. He's trying to get a little bit of heat in those tires, but you got to be even careful on slicks right there. You can see all the spray still coming off these cars. But I think Hector is going to try to put a fork in it. I mean, he's still got quite a gap over Wesley. So he's not in any danger at the moment. Wesley back there on those wet tires. Wesley has moved himself back into the second position. So we'll see what Wesley can do, but being a minute and a half plus behind our leader and only 13 minutes left in this race, I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. But, Hector, that's quite a brave move being out there on those dry tires. See if he can get it done.
Well, we'll have to check his lap times here as he's coming around turn 19. We'll have to check his lap time here to see what his first full out lap is.
We don't have
done. To. All right, well, the whole field's going to be back on wet tires here.
He tried it for a lap, but it didn't work out. And, that will help Wesley out, but Wesley's still got such a huge gap to get back up there. So Hector will still maintain the lead even after getting his tires replaced. Now
I
for
don't
the
know.
third
He's
time.
only 32 seconds behind, and Colazzo's just now getting to his stall. This
Oh.
is gonna be close.
Yeah, I misread my timing and scoring there. I thought he was a minute and a half back there, but yeah, you're right. So we'll have to follow this. Wesley Burke now closing in. Waiting to see how long this stop is for Hector. I imagine he's going to be out here momentarily. Yeah, he's leaving pit lane, and that's going to put Wesley Burke about 5 seconds, 4 seconds back when this is all said and done.
It's
So
gonna be close. As you see Joshua Jackson, well, almost getting out of the way. But now the lead is down to 4 seconds. We might have a battle here in the final 12 and a half minutes. Colazzo's going to have slightly 3-lap fresher tires. See how much that makes a difference.
it does make a bit of a difference out on wet tires, having fresher wet tires than your competitor. So as soon as Colazzo can get a lap on those tires and get those tires warmed up, I think he's going to have a little bit more speed in that car than Wesley. But Wesley is a hard charging driver. Matter of fact, Wesley is there, and you can see Hector trying to get those cold tires warmed up. Wesley's there, might even take the lead here. See, you can see Hector getting on the gas. He can't get on it on those cold tires. Very carefully. Wesley's going to take a look to the inside. A very good passing zone right here. Wesley's got all the heat he needs to get around Colazzo. Does it as they go down the back straightaway here.
And Burke is just pulling away here in the final 11 minutes. Can Colazzo get back to his bumper?
You can see Colazzo back there warming up those tires, trying to get some heat so he can. As they're going by now Joshua Jackson. By the way, Joshua Jackson currently running in third place in that GT3 car. So he's moved up over that pit cycle. But right now, Hector now trying to get around Joshua Jackson, trying to get back up to Wesley. I think he's got a little bit more heat in those tires. Maybe be able to make a challenge in about another half lap here.
Well, Burke got by Jackson on the long straightaway, but Colazzo had to make it work in the heavy braking zones. He finally did, but that's going to stretch Burke's lead out to 2.5 seconds now as they're working their way down around to 19 and 20. As they're coming around a complete lap 21, as we're about to approach the final 10 minutes of our race.
Yeah, and this is the best battle on the track. That's why we're covering it. There's no real other battles on the track. So right now, the top three in the GT3 series, Austin Cobb, Patty Armstrong, and Joshua Jackson, that has not changed. But this battle up here with Wesley trying to hang on to the lead is Hector is trying to get those tires warmed up and get back to her. I'm just looking at some information here. It looks like Hector's crew chief told him to put on the dry tires, and they lied. So something going on with Hector's crew chief there. Made a call and probably wasn't the right one there, but Hector now still struggling on those cold tires, and Wesley Burke is he's actually opening up a little bit of a gap right now.
Well, if you want to know how treacherous and hard this race has been, the GT3 leader of Austin Cobb is actually currently overall third. So just everyone having problems tonight, just getting around the track. It's been a tough night.
Speaking of our leader, Austin Cobb, the funny thing is I'm just looking at the standings right now. He is actually over some of the prototypes. So Jason Kristen is actually running behind him in a prototype. So that's just how much this weather has affected these cars. But Austin Cobb, just another commanding performance. Got quite a bit of time over his chief competitor there. Patty Armstrong has had some struggles out there. Patty's currently running 34 seconds behind Austin Cobb. Just another dominant performance in that Corvette of Austin Cobb once again. And while I'm talking about Austin, do you know anything about Save 22, Corey?
Well, you know, I'd always love to hear it again.
Well, I'm here to tell you Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate. Save 22. Proud sponsor of Goat Locker Racing, and I've been a sponsor out here since the very beginning at Goat Locker Racing, and a very good organization to be a part of. And guys, if you're out there struggling, don't go it alone. Get a hold of these guys. they're out here to help veterans. Make sure you use all the resources that are available to you, and Save 22 is definitely one of those.
As we're continuing to take a look at action on the track, Wesley Burke continues to have the overall lead. He's got 2 seconds on Hector Colazzo. Burke just seems to be finding the cars at the right, that he's lapping at the right spot, and Hector Colazzo just having all kinds of trouble getting around people in turns. But he's gotten around Timothy Williams and Jamie Lipke, and now he's trying to hunt down Wesley Burke, and Burke goes around, and that's going to give Colazzo the overall lead back as you see Burke trying to right the ship and get moving. That's going to cost him possibly the win here, as there's only 7 minutes left, and now Colazzo's lead is back out to 4 seconds already.
Well, you say 4 seconds. You know, it's amazing to me that these guys are still stuck together with all the drama that we've had here on the track. Actually, Hector was, as we're looking at the V-Speed instant replay, and there's that triangle pyramid there in the S section that's so dangerous for these cars. I don't think there's any damage, but there is no suspension on those prototypes. But as I was saying, Hector Colazzo was actually running down Wesley Burke before that all happened. And I think, you know, Wesley could see that happening, and that was putting the pressure on. And you can see Wesley just got in those S's, got up on that paint, and just sent that thing around.
Now Colazzo is out to 4.5, almost 5 seconds on Wesley Burke, as we're looking at Burke feverishly trying to catch up here in the last 6 minutes, but he's got a black flag he's going to have to serve. Must be on incident points. A lot of people contend with that in these rain races. So if he serves that black flag, he's going to be done, as Bill Mulfeld also taking a black flag on incident points. So now Bill Mulfeld in 4th. Going to hold on to 4th, but not Burke. Burke, that may cost him dearly. Burke might be all right with just a drive-through, because he's got 1:20 on Jason Kristen in 3rd.
Yeah, I think he'll be just fine. But unfortunately, you know, unless Hector has an issue out there, that's going to cost him potentially a win out there. Hector able to keep it clean so far. Coming up on lap car of Bill Mulfeld right there. Mulfeld, you can see Bill out there in that American flag livery. I'm going to let him go by Bill Mulfeld. Still having a strong drive out there. Doesn't look like maybe a podium is out there in the cards for Bill, but still another strong performance out there tonight.
As you see Bill Mulfeld, next time around, he's going to have to pit, serve that black flag. It might have gotten cleared. I don't see it on anymore. So it looks like everything's still going to stand just the same. Burke now 22.5 seconds behind overall leader Hector Colazzo, and this thing is nearly all but decided as we got less than 5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, this will be the 4th win in a row if Hector can get it done here. No more mistakes. Hector has surprisingly made some mistakes here tonight, both on pit strategy and on the track. Has had some incidents there on the track with other drivers, as we just lost Hector Colazzo's connection. Oh, thankfully it came back, because I thought we were about to lose a driver there. Pesky internet problems out there for some of these guys. Some of these guys are dialing in, like AOL here, from other countries and stuff like that. And I don't believe Hector is a nearby resident of the United States, so he's got to come in from quite a ways, so that connection could be a little spotty at times as he's coming over the Atlantic Ocean over there on those connections. But he's getting it done here tonight, holding on to that connection and holding on to that car in almost dominant fashion tonight. But man, what a run by Wesley Burke. Would have liked to seen this in the closing laps, these two fight it out at the end, but looks like we'll have about 2 to go when Hector crosses the line here on the start-finish line. And as long as he can hold it together for those 2 laps, he'll be looking at his 4th victory.
I don't think anybody has been without mistake tonight. Not a lot of fast repairs. The incidents have been slow, almost too slow, and just soft contact with a few exceptions. Most notably, everybody taking a rocket ship down to turn 12, but Only five. It looks like 5 fast repairs used up so far. So they've kept it, out of the wall, but they also haven't kept it entirely on the track either.
No, and you can see that track is still pretty wet out there, and everybody's back out on wet tires. Although I'm just looking at what the officials are calling it. They're calling it lightly wet right now, so now's about the time you could go to dry tires. But I think at this point, with a lap and a half to go, there's no chance that anybody's going to come in and do that now and give up their track position. But what a performance by these guys out here in the rain tonight. Definitely not an easy track in the rain for sure. And awesome job by everybody that's finished this race here tonight.
Well, we said it earlier. We'll say it again. It's a great night to be in the broadcast booth here with you, Ken.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed every moment of it here, Corey, and look forward again tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're going to do it again tomorrow night at Talladega as the second round of the Goat Locker Racing. Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching the overall leader. Oh, just about losing. But, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow night for the Next Gen Series. The Cruising Classic Next Gen Series. Talladega, it's never disappoints. There's going to be carnage. There's going to be skill. And there's just going to be a little bit of everything at 200 miles an hour. And it's going to be me and you bringing you the action right here on V-Speed.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of bringing in the action, Hector Collazo coming around the final turn 20 here. He's taken the glove station white flag. Flagman's got it in the air. He's going around one last time here. Hopefully he gets this done mistake-free. Wesley Burke about 30 seconds behind him. But you can see him. He's pretty happy right now. He knows that he's probably got this thing won as long as he doesn't have any incidents out there on the track. I don't know where he is on the incident count. That always can bite somebody. And with Wesley Burke only 30 seconds back, you definitely don't want to have an incident penalty at this point. But getting it done here for the last lap as he runs through the S's. Very gingerly here. It's still quite wet. You can still see a lot of puddles here in the S's. Nailing it down through here. How's Austin Cobb doing?
Well, Austin Cobb's still hanging in there. He's got a 41-second lead over Patty Armstrong. As you see, Austin Cobb currently working his way through turn 11 down the long straightaway. He'll have another lap to go. I don't think the 93 of Hector Collazo is going to catch him unless he lets him.
Yeah,
but there's a straightaway between them, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, Hector's about 15 seconds behind him, so I think he's pretty safe. He's going to have to run one more lap. You know, if Hector was to pass him before the start-finish line, Cobb would still win the race, and then he wouldn't have to do another lap. But as it turns out, he's going to have to run another lap at least. But great job out there by Austin Cobb. His next time by, he will take the white flag. But back up front, Hector Collazo, he's done it almost from start to finish. A lot of drama out there on the track. A couple incidents. One of the most difficult sections of the track right here. We've seen a lot of close calls with different classes through here. But he's getting it done here tonight. I don't see a lot of damage on that machine. Final couple of corners here going through turn 18. Headed down to turn 19 for the last time. Hector Collazo, hang on for 2 more corners. He's got the checkered flag in his sights. Next to last corner, coming into turn 20, hangs out the rear end. You can see him stepping on it as we've got the cameras on Hector for his 4th win of the season. Hector Collazo gets it done in the prototypes once again.
Yeah, a great race by Hector Collazo. Certainly not a clean race, but nobody ran a clean race tonight, so he's going to be the beneficiary of just complete carnage. So good, congrats to him as we're going to go down to Austin Cobb, working his way through the S's for the final time. Nobody really pushing too hard here as most of the cars are finishing up behind Collazo. So he's going to be one of the last people in for the night.
Yeah, technically, Cobb is the only one that hasn't taken the checkered flag. Everybody else has taken the checkered flag because the only reason Cobb hasn't is because the leader of the prototypes did not get by him. So Cobb is out there running by himself. He is your winner. No matter what happens at this point, he can wreck, do whatever. He has won this race. We're just watching him basically take his victory last lap.
Yeah, but you see him take turn 12, working his way down excuse me. He's on ticket turn 11, working his way down the long straightaway for the last time. Nice, good-looking blue Chevy Corvette heading down to turn 12, nice and easy. There's one other car on track ahead of him. That's the 66, but he's on a different lap, so it's not going to matter, like you said. Enjoying the last few seconds of the Austin Cobb show.
And why not? You know, he gets some TV time tonight. Those prototypes are going back and forth all night long. We had a lot of time on the prototypes. Now we're looking at the GT3 car here of Austin Cobb. But what another great night for him, getting this victory here, as he's got only a few more corners before he takes the checkered flag. Why don't you take him home?
Yeah, as he makes the left through turn 19, on his way down to the big elbow at turn 20, onto the final straightaway. For the last time, your GT3 winner is, once again, Austin Cobb.
What a fun race. Not many cars out there tonight, but what a great performance by all these drivers here. Austin Cobb, congratulations on his win. Same to Hector Collazo. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to have your unofficial results, and we're going to talk to all our podium finishes. We'll see you back here momentarily.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back live here at Texas COTA Motor Speedway. And no surprise, once again, Hector Collazo finds his way to victory lane for the fourth time in a row. But I'll tell you what, he had his work cut out for him tonight with Wesley Burke, who finishes second. Wesley led some laps out there, put up a great fight with Hector. It's one of the better fights we've seen all season long, so congrats to Wesley Burke. No shame in that second place finish tonight. Jason Kristen with a great performance out here. He'll grab that last podium spot in third. Bill Mofield will finish in the fourth position, and then Jamie Lipke rounds out the fifth car on the field.
Let's take a look at your GT3 results. Austin Cobb, your winner. Patty Armstrong finishes second, 1 lap down. Well, not quite a lap down, for about 50 seconds down, but that's what it looked like. Joshua Jackson is going to round out your podium in his Porsche. Then after that, you got John Hoochin. Timothy Williams bringing home in fifth. DJ Patterson in sixth. And then your DNFs, Kyle Clark, J.R. Schomburg, and Claire Sisk.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am standing by actually with Hector Collazo, our race winner of the prototype field. Hey, Hector, 4 in a row. Talk about your race tonight because it was all over the place.
Yeah, not my best performance, I would say, in these past 4 races, but a win's a win, I would say. A little hectic on the tire situation because I thought it would be dry by then, coming like maybe 20 minutes left, and spotter kind of screwed me up there, so I'm a little pissed at him. We're gonna have to talk in the hauler after the race, but yeah, it was a great battle against Wesley. I realized mid-run that when I pit, that my traction control was at 1 for both the rear and the front, so I had absolutely 0 grip. So I kind of just thugged it out with that. So kind of happy that I was able to survive, but it sucks that Wesley um had to drive through with the incident points. So coming up to him and then he spun out as well, which sucked. Would have been a nice battle, but yeah, so came out with the win, so I'll take that over anything else.
Well, I got to tell you, it was a fantastic performance watching you two guys race all night long. One of the better battles I think we've seen you race all season long. But it was interesting because I think just about everybody in the prototype field, especially, did the same thing you did. Put on those wets or put on those dry tires and had to come back in and put back on the wets. What were you thinking when you went back out there on the wets and you hit that first corner?
I was just praying that the thing actually braked at all. Those tires were absolute bricks of ice, so I was just praying I was able to keep it on track and at least maintain like a 5 second gap to Wesley because I knew on that coming to the end, if he didn't spin out, that I would probably be a little bit quicker. So and then he spun out, of course. So at that point, just drove it home safely. So that was just the main idea.
And that you did. Well, who do you have to thank to get you this victory here once again tonight?
I gotta thank the sponsors, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indian Department of Veteran Affairs, and Vets, ATYL. Gotta thank some of my friends that were keeping me calm the whole race. So shout out to those guys, and yeah, thanks for you guys for broadcasting this absolute wreck fest or hectic race. So yeah, thank you to you guys.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, that was
Thank you.
Hector Colazo, our race winner. I'll tell you what, why don't we talk to our race winner of the sports car series? Corey, you got Austin with you?
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Hi, guys.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're still showing me in the waiting room. I'm sorry. All right, I'm here with race winner Austin Cobb. Austin, 5 wins on the season. 5 wins, and you've stretched your championship points lead out to 342 with 2 races to go. How'd you get it done tonight?
Man, it was an interesting start. I if any of you have been here since the start, you know that me and Rain have not gone together well at all. Spa, I heated up my tires to the point where they were melting onto the track, and I was driving the GT3 like it was a Mazda MX-5. Just kind of a moving chicane, if you will. And then Daytona, it's one of the ones where you just kind of want to sell your rig and become a monk in the woods. So it's very nice to finally get a good result in the rain. The Corvette, it felt really good here. COTA is one of my favorite tracks. I know it's not a super popular track. I know people find it pretty tricky. And then with the rain on top of it, it just added to the challenge. And I really wanted to prove to myself that I could operate this car in the rain. So that's what I set out to do. And yeah, interesting start. Patty got me at the start, and he had an off and an unfortunate spin later on, but it was making it tricky because of the spray. So once I got out into the clear air, I just wanted to take care of the car, make sure I didn't overheat the tires, and just bring it home. So yeah, it was fun out there today.
All right. Well, who do you have to thank for getting you this win tonight?
Yeah, gotta thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, MK Fire Design, ZAT Graphics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Ion Vets, and ATYL. I gotta thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for putting on this show. It's always very entertaining getting to watch it back. Been recommending it to all my friends and family, and they love it too. And gotta thank my other half as well because she's awesome and allows me to do this.
That's Austin Cobb, tonight's GT3 winner. Ken Scott, GTP second place.
Well, maybe eventually I'll get him. I have to walk down to his booth there. But here, Wesley Burke, this is Ken Huber. You got a copy?
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey, it was a lot of fun watching you there tonight. Hector, you basically had the same race that Hector did. You came up a little bit short, and it looks like you got the incident point penalty and had to do that last drive-through. But talk about your race between you and Hector.
Yeah, it was fun. I was a lot quicker in the wet. I couldn't see anything. As soon as you got behind someone, the spray was so big that it just caused me to miss corners and spin because I just couldn't see. One time we came up on DJ Patterson, and I guess Hector had just gotten around him, and Hector's spray completely covered DJ's car. And then with DJ's spray, as soon as I got when I saw DJ, I was finna wreck him, so I had to get on the brakes hard, loop it, and then I had to run back down Hector, ran him back down, and then I spun again because I couldn't see the little turtles or whatever in the corner.
Now, how much experience do you have in the rain? Because I was really surprised when you came on pit lane and took those racing slicks.
0 in this car. And when I went to the slicks, it's just I was like, okay, he's pulling away. He has a 9-second lead. Let me try something. What could go wrong? It can't be that bad. It's way different than the GT3 in that scenario. Yeah, in
Yeah.
GT3, I would have been able to hold on to. That's why I got too many incident points. It's because it took me 6 minutes to make a lap because it just kept spinning, kept missing the corner. I probably got 10 incident points on one lap because of it.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for that, I don't know.
we
Maybe
watched
I could've-
we watched many different drivers try that strategy. So you weren't the only one. You had pretty much every prototype out there did the same thing you did. But great job out there in second place. It was a lot of fun watching you out there tonight. Definitely put on a show. Who do you have to thank to get you into that second spot?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jim Printing and Promotions, P-Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, GTR Simulators, MK Fire Designs, Zach Graphics, and Hector for racing really good.
All right. We'll see you next week, Wesley.
See ya.
All right. That was Wesley Burke. And we're going to bring up second place in the GT3 field here.
I'm here with Patty Armstrong, second place tonight in GT3. Patty, you had a pretty decent race. You weren't free of mistakes, but nobody really was. What was it going to take to get that win tonight?
Some luck, probably. Yeah, it wasn't a bad drive, but it wasn't a great drive either. Yeah, got the move done early on Austin, into the second hairpin, and then was kind of trying to build a gap, but then turn 2 a couple laps later and just got a little bit too eager on the power. Spun, lost good chunk of time there, and then I think I was kind of praying for a miracle at that point. I thought maybe there was a chance on the transition to slicks, but as we found out, that never came. So stayed on the wets the whole race. Bit of an incident with Hector, but all's good. Just maybe not. I wouldn't have gone for the overtake there from him, but I mean, if it was dry, I would have. So no hard feelings on that one. And then yeah, just managing the tires and into the end of the race where it's getting too hot. Yeah, pressure's going a bit crazy, but just nursing the car home.
Well, you mentioned the incident with Colazzo. It looked like you had just kind of a glancing blow off the guardrail. Did you have any damage that you had to contend with the rest of the race?
Kind of, yes, but I didn't really feel anything. I looked at the car after the race, and there was some damage on the rear. I also had a hit on the front, but no damage there, which I think is, I mean, if I'm gonna have damage, I'd rather have it on the rear. Otherwise, it's just understeer everywhere and just miserable to drive. So, yeah, but not too bad.
Well, you survived for a second place finish tonight. Who do you have to thank for getting you there?
Jam Printing and Promotions, MK Fire Design and Zach Graphics, you guys at V-Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, and GTR Simulators.
That's Patty Armstrong, second place in GT3. Ken?
Well, I tell you what, I am standing by with second place in in the prototype field, and that's Jason Kristen. Jason Kristen, do you have a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Now, I can't remember. Is this your first podium of the season?
Yeah, this is my first podium in sports cars.
Well, I got to tell you, we were talking about you tonight, and you were doing a great job out there in the rain. It seemed like you had the least mistakes out of everyone out there, and able to hang on to that third spot. Tell us how you got it done.
The least mistakes until I made that first pit stop. But yeah, everything started out well. I just tried to take it easy and not push too hard too early. Made a few mistakes. Got a few off track, slid sideways a few, and then got faster towards the end of my first stint. And I told myself to change back from primary to rain tires, and sure enough, I forgot. And God, those dry tires on that slick track, they did not want to grip at all.
Well,
Right.
I got to tell you something. I want to interrupt you because at least you made a mistake. Everybody else that was competing with you did it on purpose. So so you could take that one and put that feather in your cap.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. So yay me for being stupid. But yeah, I was racking up incident points like Sonic collects rings there for a minute, and then I was at 14 incidents after I changed back to wet, so I had to take it really easy that last stint. But yeah, ran good.
Well, great job on this that third place podium. Who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight?
As always, big thanks to iRacing for this amazing sim, MK Fire Designs for their support of this series, Sim Motion, Harpoon Designs, Zet Graphics, and then of course Signature Signs and Graphics and Ghost Energy.
All right, we'll see you next week. That was Jason Kristen, your third place in the prototype field.
Thank you, Ken. I am here with Joshua Jackson, third place finisher tonight in GT3. Joshua, well, how'd you get it done?
Well, it was definitely a struggle. I'm not a fan of this track at all, whether it's wet or dry. So, I just took it one lap at a time. Really, I messed up before the race. Had slicks on from qualifying still, so I missed the start. But yeah, I just took it one lap at a time. That's all I really could do here. So I'm just glad I was able to make it up to the podium.
Well, you definitely did damage control tonight, even though Austin Cobb finished ahead of you. He only stretched the championship point lead out to 342 with with 2 races to go. What's it going to take to win this championship?
A miracle. Austin is just a very, very fast person, no matter where he goes. So luckily, the next 2 tracks are 2 of my preferred tracks. So hopefully I can give him a little bit of a battle coming up. But it's going to take a miracle to wind that lead down.
Well, who do you have to thank for getting you to third place tonight?
I want to thank iRacing, MK Fire Design, Sim Motion, Harpoon Design, and Zat Graphics.
That's Joshua Jackson, third place, waiting for a miracle. Ken?
What a great job. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you tonight. Next week, we're doing 2 hours at Indy. You guys don't want to miss it. 2 hours. It's double the points, double the pleasure. I think it's forecasted weather to be dry out there. I don't know if you're going to be back with me next week, but there you see it on the schedule. And then we got one final race there at Watkins Glen. So we're getting down to it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Regan Carty not here tonight. Jamie Libke, despite finishing 5th, closes the points gap to just over 50 points. So the payout's going to be there over the next 2 races. She's got a decent shot. Can she win it all?
Yeah, well, the only way to find out is to tune in right here on V-Speed and check it out next week, next Tuesday. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Talladega at the Cruising Classics Premier Series will be there tomorrow night, same bat channel, same bat time. And like always, I want to thank everybody here for being here with us tonight. I'm Ken Huber. I've had Corin Smith with me in the booth, Bobby Bender on production, and Dougie Beards has provided the cameras here tonight. And on behalf of everybody at Goat Lock